What is autogynephilia?
And the background from that word will blow your mind.
If I had $1 for every time I was doing research and realized, oh, this all started because of Nazis, I would be able to quit my job.
Yeah, Nazis are pretty f***ing gay.
Yeah.
Lady in the Trans podcast. Where we believe in science. We don't believe in God. Only science. Science will solve all the problems. That's the trans agenda.
Trans people in science gonna save the day.
Solve the problems with us. With science. Science, bitch.
Science and my trans agenda, I'm gonna turn you trans.
Hi,
Hey,
and welcome.
welcome to a special. Basically, we talked about this in a long episode, but we know not all people watch the long episodes, and we thought this particular conversation was especially interesting.
Yeah, and it ended up being a good chunk of the episode.
It's a pretty solid, as you can see by the runtime of this short video. So we're just going to tell you about what is autogynephilia. Why do people talk about it so much? Why are people so adamant that it is a thing when it might not, in fact, be a thing?
And the background from that word will blow your mind.
That truly, if I had $1 for every time I was doing research about something, and I got to this third or fourth page of research and realized, oh, this all started because of Nazis, I would be able to quit my job.
We could do an entire 6-part series about everything that started with Nazi Germany.
Oh, it's crazy. So
it's insane.
anyway, the next time you see someone talking about autogynephilia, just link them this episode or just share all the knowledge that you're about to learn after we change our clothes real quick and teach you about it.
Yes.
So this shit
Yeah.
is some crazy shit.
This shit is fucking insane.
This opened a crazy rabbit hole that I was
Yes.
not expecting to go down. Because I just wanted to look up where the word came from.
And the answer will shock
And
you.
I found out where it came from.
Yep.
So the word is autogynephilia. If you have not heard that word, congratulations, you win the internet.
Yeah, must be nice.
If you have heard this term, you have probably almost certainly heard it in an offensive, transphobic context.
Some transphobe or turf was probably saying it in a
the
podcast.
only people who use this term are transphobes and turfs.
Yes.
Because it was invented by a transphobe and turf.
Yes.
I mean-
and a pedophile. We'll get into that.
Yes. Autogynephilia is a word for a fetish that is experienced exclusively by AMAB people, assigned male at birth, from, where they achieve sexual arousal or gratification from imagining themselves as women. It is not real.
Yeah.
It's important to point that out at the start because I'm going to talk about it as though it is real in the purposes of explaining what it is.
What it is, yeah.
But it is not a real thing.
No. And it's stupid. And if you have common sense, you can determine that without the research that was done. But still.
Where it came from, there is an American-Canadian sexologist named Ray Blanchard. This man is also a member of the Human Biodiversity Institute, HBI, is this organization. He proposed the idea in the 1980s because he couldn't understand trans lesbians. It was literally an attempt because he had been working under another sociologist or sexologist who I think, did I even not write that guy's name down? I was going to write his name down because I thought he was a piece of shit, but it turned out that his mentor had been studying a lot of this stuff and trying to figure out what's going on with trans people and what's going on with gay people and what's causing gay people, blah, blah, blah. And this guy's mentor did this study where he was trying to test whether or not you could change someone's sexuality. And so we had a bunch of gay men sign up to be a part of this study. Most of them had been discriminated against heavily in their lives, and they were hoping that they could have their sexuality changed. So they volunteered for this study where he basically would show them sexual images of men while giving them a serum or a drink that would make them feel physically sick. And then he would give them rewards like oxytocin, pleasure chemicals, whatever, while they were looking at sexual images of women. And he thought with enough time, basically making them feel sick, looking at what they were actually attracted to, and feel really, really good, looking at the thing that they weren't attracted to, he could, quote, fix or change their sexuality. The results at the end of this study, no one's sexuality changed.
Yeah, because conversion therapy doesn't work.
Yes. He was like, I did manage to get some of these men into relationships with women, but they seemed deeply unhappy. Many of them killed themselves.
Yeah.
And it at the end of the day, I think I've caused them more harm than good. Because now when they go to perform the sex that they want to do, they feel sick. And that's the only difference.
Yeah.
Is the thing that used to make them happy makes them sick, and the thing that used to make them unhappy still makes them unhappy.
Yeah.
So, oops,
Who
my
would've
bad.
thought?
So he basically turned against the whole ideology and became an LGBT rights advocate. Blanchard did not learn that lesson. This guy was so sure that this stuff was a problem because he's a part of the HBI, the Human Biodiversity Institute. Do you know what that is?
I do not.
You haven't heard of this before.
I have not.
I think most people haven't. Human Biodiversity Institute is an association of far-right scientists who believe in race theory and eugenics. Every member of this group believes in finding the genetic cause of all things so that they can weed it out of the population at large. Their larger mission is to find any genetic link for any genetic trait. And once they've categorized that into something that is easily digestible, they release it in a small packet as a, quote, red pill on the internet. The Institute's sole purpose is promoting fake genetic science to the red pillars on the internet to confuse the population and to fuel white supremacy. That is the sole purpose of this organization, is to find a way to take pseudoscientific ideas and make them seem scientifically plausible. So part of what he's trying to do in researching homosexuality, transgenderism, all of these types of things, his goal is to eradicate it. His goal is to find the cause of homosexuality so he can prevent homosexuality, either by gene editing or by having conversations with the parents. A lot like, hey, so we've tested the fetus and it seems like you might have a gay kid. Would you like us to plant a different embryo instead? Would you like, if he can
Elon
prove
Musk.
it, if he can find the cause, he can talk people out of having gay kids.
It's just insane how much of this ties back to the
White
Nazis,
supremacy, Nazi ideology?
Yeah,
it is.
misogyny, all of it. It's all interconnected. They think by getting rid of queer people first and then just controlling everything else after. It's just...
Yep.
I think it's okay if white people go extinct. I don't care if
I don't think it would be a problem.
I think it would be fine.
Or at least the people who have this ideology that defines, like, because I went down a fucking rabbit hole of the types of people that like really subscribe to race theory, and I dove down this whole rabbit hole about like the fact that 23andMe and all of those genetic testing sites were started by these people.
I'm so glad I never did one of those.
They are literally.
Are you serious?
They are literally gathering genetic data from the population, pretending that it's going to tell you about your heritage, and just compiling it so that they can release it as fake race science. And they've released all this information so that there's like a subgroup of people who can literally, they're using the data that they purchase from 23andMe. 23andMe said they're not selling it to people, but the white supremacists are able to purchase the data and they're able to see that they're, quote, 100% white. And they're defining what white means, and they're going through the genetic testing, and they're finding, oh, look, I'm 16% this and 84% this. That means I'm 0% black. That means, fuck yeah, 100% white.
You know what's insane about the white supremacy bullshit where they want it to be all white people? White genes are recessive genes.
Yeah.
Think about that for a second.
Yeah.
These are recessive genes.
Yeah.
Like, okay, all the white people that live in Arizona always have skin cancer and sunburns. Why? Because if you have paler skin, it's not built for the sun. Blue eyes. I had an ex that had blue eyes, and his eyes, he had to wear sunglasses when the sun was out because his eyes would hurt.
Yeah, I feel that.
Like, it's okay to be white, but also, like, to act like these are the,
Like
the
you're
superior
superior.
genes, and you want to have
on
a planet
that you're actively heating up.
yeah, like you're destroying, and your genes are going to survive the aftermath of the, like, it's stupid.
It don't make no sense.
And it's all about, like, physical characteristics. Because there's no science to back this. It's narcissism. It's people that want people that look like them to exist because they're obsessed with themselves. It's insane.
There is
and it's
no
embarrassing.
genetic evidence at all for race.
No, they're just physical characteristics.
Yeah. And it is such a small fraction of physical characteristics that it doesn't make sense to it would be like taking two different bananas and saying that they're a different species of banana. It's like, no, they're bananas. This one's a little bit longer than this one. That doesn't make it a different race of banana. That's insane.
It's stupid. Also, this is another thing. If you want to, like, I'm going to get non-politically correct about this real fast.
Okay.
So I am obsessed with cats, right? And for a little bit, I really wanted a Sphinx cat, like the hairless cats.
Mm-hmm.
And I like did a lot of research. So hairless cats, it is a recessive gene, right? It was a glitch in the system of cats. And they had a lot of interbreeding to keep hairless cats a breed because they thought it was cool. So most hairless cats are inbred. And they have a lot of health problems as a result. In order to keep recessive genes going, you end up with inbreeding, you end up with health problems.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not good to
That's
like
correct.
If you want to argue science and biology, like it's the opposite of what you think of you being superior.
Yeah.
If you're going to keep nothing but white people, you're just going to keep inbreeding people with recessive genes.
Yeah.
It
doesn't make any sense.
It's okay for white people to exist, but like to want to eradicate everyone else, you're just trying to kill the human race.
Literally. Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
no one's erasing whiteness. And like,
no,
there's no reason to fight to keep it around, because if whiteness does disappear, it just means all the white people fell in love with people of color. And what the fuck is
and
wrong
who
with that?
Fucking
I think
cares?
everyone needs a little more melanin. And
I think that's fine. And also, it doesn't matter.
We're gonna keep heating up the planet. It's gonna have to happen.
That's
you
what
know,
I'm saying.
like, let's fucking go.
And every time we start progressing and then we regress because of people like this, it's just setting us back for what? It's not going to work. You can't get rid of queer people. There will always be queer people. It doesn't matter what race of people are still around.
You nearly killed all the queer people in the 1980s, but look, they're all back.
They're all fucking back.
Because it's almost like it's a naturally occurring
It is a
fucking
thing that happens in nature.
And even with 0 people grooming them to be gay, a whole lot of fucking people
and I guarantee
turned out to be gay.
If you were to get rid of every other race except white people based on whatever is going on in nature and the climate, you would start growing certain characteristics to survive certain climates. It's all going to go back. It's nature.
Yes.
These are a bunch of narcissists
They're
trying to fight nature.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like, these are the people who are leading institutions. This guy was put in charge of the fucking DSM committee. Like, he chose what disorders to put into the DSM. He's the reason autogynephilia was added to the DSM.
I'm so glad there are so many women going into psychology. It's a very common study for women to go into, because I feel like a lot of the reason we're so behind on understanding psychology is because a bunch of dumb narcissistic men are involved in it.
The entire field of psychology was founded by and led by Nazis from the beginning. Even today, most of the people in the highest positions that are deciding which studies to publish and which studies to throw under the rug are still Nazis.
Yes.
They don't call themselves that anymore.
Yeah, they get mad if you call them
Now
that
they call themselves member of the Human Biodiversity Institute.
or MAGA.
Or MAGA or whatever. Yeah. But like, these are the people that are being cited when people are like, do you have a citation for that weird fucking bullshit you just said? They'll go to the Human Biodiversity Institute. That's the other purpose for them existing, is because they have accredited, like, respected psychologists and doctors publishing articles that are full of fake science that people can use as a citation to be like, there, it's real. And AI can't tell the fucking difference.
Yeah.
AI thinks it's real because it's on a website.
Yeah. So this is the other thing. People don't know how to use their common sense. Because what you're about to read to us, if you use your common sense and critical thinking skills, you'll understand this is bullshit.
It takes you 5 seconds to think your way out of this bag.
If you look at any study that's bullshit, if you have any common sense.
Literally.
I don't consider myself to be that intelligent of a person in comparison to like our smartest people. I don't. You were telling me about this stuff and the studies, and I'm like, yeah, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
At face value, this is bullshit.
Because it's fucking obvious bullshit.
Yeah, it's like a joke, actually. It's laughable.
So, in the 1950s, clinicians were attempting to classify the different types of transness they were seeing, and they settled on 2 categories. These are going to be offensive.
Okay.
Category 1 is homosexual transsexuals. Those are trans women who are attracted to men. I'm like I said, it's going to be offensive.
So straight women that just are trans,
Correct.
and they
said they're homosexual.
and we're making it complicated with our fucking
Correct.
labels and terms. Okay.
So that's one type. The other type is heterosexual fetishistic transvestites.
Of course they made it up. Oh.
Heterosexual fetishistic transvestites.
So trans lesbians.
Correct. But they didn't believe that was a thing.
Of course
They
not.
simply refused to believe that it was a thing.
Men don't believe lesbians are a thing in general. You could be a
That's
cis
exactly.
lesbian and men are like, you haven't fucked me yet. Like, okay, your wife doesn't even fuck you, Bob. Shut the fuck up.
I think that's a big part of why they couldn't figure out how to classify this shit in the, again, 1950s.
It's like, you must be a man if you're attracted to women, but you dress like this and it must be a sexual thing.
Yeah. Notably, trans men are completely ignored in these categories.
Typical.
And trans women's opinions were ignored because they said these labels don't make sense.
Yeah. It's stupid. It's stupid. It doesn't make sense. It's confusing.
Yeah. Basically, because these dudes couldn't personally relate, they decided it must be a fetish.
Yeah. Well, trans women are women. Of course, you can't fucking relate.
Yes.
You're a dude.
So, Blanchard began conducting studies to attempt to prove this theory that autogynephilia is, as we said, a fetish where biological males achieve sexual arousal and gratification by imagining themselves as women. So his study has a lot of fucking issues, such as the fact that it does not define terms. It relies on assumptions. It threw out all data that disagreed with his opinion, and it failed to have a control group. Basically, it's just junk science all the way down.
Yeah.
Here's what the study was. It's really in-depth and complicated, so take your time trying to understand this one, you know?
Collect myself. I got it.
So he separated trans women into 4 groups. Group 1, attracted to men. Group 2, attracted to women. Group 3, bisexual. Group 4, asexual. So he's got these 4 groups of trans women. There's no cis women in the study. There's also no men in the study. He then asks them, have you ever been aroused while dressing in women's clothes? In the attracted to men group, 15% of them said yes. In all of the other 3 groups
That he bunched together.
the attracted to women, the bisexual, and the asexual, 73% said yes. I have been sexually aroused while in women's clothing. That is the whole study.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the study.
Yeah. So about the percentage of each section, because if 3 of the 4 parts are 73% of them saying yes.
Yeah. Which also means 27% of them said no.
Yeah, so like what does it say about them?
And he just ignored those 27%.
Yeah, and
He
was like,
just
I'm on to something.
Yeah, he was just well, more of them got aroused, so that must be their primary motivation in wanting to transition.
I think he did not get the percentage response he wanted, having them in individual groups, and just bunched those three together and was like, see, they're freaks,
Yes,
they're pervs.
Almost certainly. Yeah. His conclusion, based exclusively on this study, is that sexual arousal was their primary motivation in transitioning. He didn't ask them what their primary motivation was in transitioning.
No.
He just asked them, have you ever been sexually aroused
while wearing women's clothing?
in women's clothing? And if they said yes, he was like, well, that must be your whole reason for doing this, huh? Because that's the only reason I would ever do something is if I was aroused by it.
Based on that logic, I'm also a fetishist. Is that the word, fetishist?
A heterosexual fetishistic transvestite?
Yeah. Because I've been aroused wearing women's clothing.
No,
so
it would technically just mean that you have autogynephilia.
Yeah, that would mean that I also have it.
Yeah.
What does that prove?
So
I can't believe people that have gone to college fucking cite this.
I know.
As a gotcha.
I know. I think they didn't look at the study, is what I think.
I'm gonna let you get through the whole thing, and then I have notes.
I've got a lot more.
Okay.
So he also concluded. So there's that 27% that did not experience sexual arousal.
Okay.
His conclusion about them was that they were also autogynephilic, but they were trying to hide it so that they could be more socially acceptable.
What?
He was like, I think they just lied to me.
And isn't the idea of autogynephilia about attraction to women?
No, it's about attraction to yourself as a woman.
Okay.
It's about specifically receiving sexual gratification by imagining yourself as a woman.
Okay, I'm just going to interject with this one thing.
Okay.
There is this sex researcher that went on the Joe Rogan podcast. I'm not going to say her name because fuck this bitch. She's a dumb fucking bitch. I can't believe she gets on any platforms.
Yeah.
She went on a little rant about autogynephilia, however you fucking say it, and was like, yeah, so like for trans women that are lesbians, the reason they transition is they are just so attracted to women that they want to become one, so they want to transition. And I remember her saying it. She like pitched it basically like that. And I'm listening to this, and this was back before I was even really politically involved in anything. And I still had a few little like opinions that were like mildly transphobic just based on misinformation at the time, right? And I remember hearing her say that, and I was like, that's what being a lesbian is. That's what being gay is. Or like you could argue the same thing about being straight, but in revert. Like when I want to fuck a bitch, it's because I like that we have the same shit going on. Like that's what it. And if I go to bang a dude, I like that we have the opposite shit going on. Like that's what that is for me.
Yeah.
You know?
She just defined lesbianism.
Yeah. And you're like making it out to be like some sort of fetish that trans women specifically, even in my dumbest state when I wasn't involved in this topic at all, I was like, this sounds kind of like pseudoscience.
The TERFs love this study because the TERFs already believe that trans people are just fetishists.
Yeah.
Who are trying to sneak into women's bathrooms and like prey on people, or they're trying to like get off being naked in the women's locker room or whatever. Like they think it's purely a sexual thing. And this theory fully legitimizes that idea as realistic, even though it's not real. It's based on nothing. It's based on, because we did some follow-up studies, such as, you're going to love this, Larry Nutbrock's.
Who the fuck named these people? Jesus. Nutbrock?
Larry Nutbrock is his name.
It's singular, not plural. Okay.
Larry Nutbrock's study.
Oh, it is plural. Okay.
No, it's Larry Nutbrock, and it's his study.
Oh, okay.
It's Larry Nutbrock's study.
The name's wild no matter what, but like, yeah.
Yes, exactly. Larry Nutbrock's study said that he was finding that autogynephilic tendencies were specific to boomers. It was a generationally locked phenomenon, and that it might be more due to cultural fears of fears of femininity than to anything regarding
Also the church.
the church. So it might have more to do with
when people
whatever
are
the
more
fuck was in
religious,
the water for boomers.
They turn everything. Religious people, they have the joke about like Catholic girls are freakier. It's because when you're suppressing your sexuality, it becomes more fetishy and like,
Correct.
you know, because it's a
Correct.
thing, it's a taboo thing. So it like turns into this thing.
Correct.
But also even the ratio, like the groups that, because he separated the bisexuals, lesbians, and the asexuals into
Correct.
one big fucking group.
Yes. Have you ever been sexually aroused while wearing women's clothing? That's
Yeah.
like
Ask any cis woman.
that's like any time I've had sex. The answer is yes, because I'm
Yeah.
wearing women's clothing before I have sex, and then
Yeah.
I get aroused, and then I take them off so
Ask
that
any
I can have
cis
sex.
woman the same fucking thing.
So that's the other thing. This is a different guy's study. Charles Allen Mosier did a study that said if this phenomenon is true, 93% of cis women have autogynephilia.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
93% higher than either of the groups of trans women.
And also, why aren't we talking about the trans men?
Why aren't we talking about the trans
I
men?
feel like the trans men probably have more fetishy shit going on that don't have to do with them being trans, but they're men. Men
Yeah.
are sluts.
I bet cis men.
Men are sluts.
I bet cis men,
Oh, cis men
and
have-
trans men would. I bet if you interviewed the whole population, you'd be like, it turns out everybody has this.
Yeah.
It turns out if you wear lingerie, you might be aroused.
Yeah.
Like, because they didn't specify what type of women's clothing either.
Yeah.
They literally just said, have you ever been aroused in any type of women's clothing?
You can be wearing any type of clothing and get aroused. It has nothing to do with the clothing.
That's correct. I've been aroused in a lot of clothing that was not clothing that would make me aroused.
Yeah, same. I've been aroused dressed like a homeless guy before.
Yeah.
I
Sometimes
promise you it wasn't the outfit.
Sometimes it's just the way the fabric is bunching up, you know? It's
Yeah.
could be any fucking reason.
Most of the time it has nothing to do with what you're wearing.
Situational. Exactly. Most of the time it has nothing to do. Charles Allen Mosier's other study says even if this phenomenon exists, it says absolutely nothing about the motivation of the people behind it. It literally is just a thing.
It's stupid.
It's a completely useless metric that says nothing about anything. Yeah.
And also, why didn't they do one for trans guys?
Because this guy didn't believe trans guys were a thing.
Yeah. No, a lot of this transphobia shit, it's believing trans women are men and trans men are women. And so because they're believing trans men are women, they just exclude them out of the thing because they want to point the finger at this other group that they see as men as like, these are the bad men. It's like, they're women. What are you fucking talking about?
So here's the thing. His entire belief system boils down to, again, this Nazi ideology, right? This genetic manipulation, eugenics bullshit.
Yeah.
So the reason he's not studying trans men is because trans men can still get pregnant, which means they fulfill his purpose for what a female-bodied person is supposed to be.
Oh,
Trans
bitch, you're
women
cannot.
Trans women
So
are
it's a woman
breaking,
they deem as useless.
right.
Because women are only useful if they can birth
Correct.
more fucking shitty white
And
babies.
for some reason, they feel this need to make sure that every baby that is born fits into their little worldview and their little ideology. His whole motivation is to prevent gay people from being born, to prevent trans women from being born. He doesn't care about trans men at all. He's like, whatever, that's fine. They can exist.
And
I guess.
if they make it so it's not okay for trans people to come out, if they demonize trans women coming out enough with trans men, it's like even if you kind of try to come out, we can still put you in a situation where you're having a kid that you don't want.
Right.
And as long as you're white, we're cool with it.
Yeah. So while he's
Oh my god.
So
bitch.
while he's doing all these studies, he's also doing separate studies on the birth order effect.
Which blew my mind. Let's go.
The birth order, this is something you've mentioned in several
have.
episodes of this podcast.
I have, 'cause
and
I-
every time you mention it, I'm always like, I'm going to look into that. I've never heard of that. Maybe I've seen some anecdotal evidence for it. I'd be curious. Sure.
Yeah.
You know? Go ahead and say what the theory is that you have heard.
The theory is if you are born to a family, you're AMAB, you are the youngest son, or like closer to the younger son. The theory is your mother would give off more estrogen in the womb if you're the younger one, basically. If you are the oldest daughter, you would be more likely to have higher levels of testosterone on, like, you know, not every time, but like just based on order of birth. Because if your mother birthed, like, if your mother had 4 sons and then you were AMAB, you were born, all of her testosterone in the womb would have gone to the boys, and then it would just like give off more estrogen.
So that whole thing, there is zero
Science to back
scientific evidence to support any of that.
It's crazy too, because my
They've done many studies trying to prove that. This man led all of them.
And it wasn't to help us understand or try to be accepting. It was so they could try to determine a genetic thing that they could determine
to try to
so they could prevent them from being
gay
born.
people and trans people from being born.
And like, if you look at stats, trans women aren't harming anybody. Men fucking are. If you really want to like change women being like harmed, maybe let's go after men being pieces of shit. Why don't we focus on that?
Makes a lot of sense.
And also,
to me.
trans women are usually the ones getting the worst of that.
It's true. So here's the other very frustrating part. This man has done something to the order of 40 different studies trying to prove this.
Jesus fucking Christ.
And he has done the math in such a way, in the way that he organizes the studies, he does the math to where at the end of the study, he goes, and as you can see, it's true. In all of the studies, he has, quote, proven that the birth order effect is real. So what I did is I read a meta-study of all of his studies, where this group of researchers got together and they went through all the data and they questioned his assumptions and they reanalyzed the data from every possible angle they could. And what they found is that, in fact, what he was seeing was no better than randomness. That, in fact, if you control for, rather than only counting older brothers, if you count older siblings, there's literally no data that aligns. They're like, maybe sometimes there's like a 1% difference, but also when you're looking at sample sizes this small, when you have a 1% difference, usually what we do is ignore that.
Yeah.
Like, it's statistically insignificant. There is no way to do a 95% confidence interval for any of these studies. So what we can conclude based on this is, if this birth order effect is real, there is currently no evidence for it, and the current evidence that does exist is insufficient to prove anything. But because there are 40 studies that all come to the conclusion birth order effect is real, and there is one study saying those 40 studies are lying, every reputable science magazine and every AI engine will tell you birth order effect is real. There are, in fact, 40 studies backing up the fact that it is real. Ignore the fact that all 40 of those studies were done by the same guy. Ignore the fact that all of those studies were done with a goal of finding a specific result. And ignore the fact that if you actually look at those numbers in a slightly different way, it's all bullshit. But it's very easy to say there's a lot of evidence for this. There's a lot of evidence. If you don't think critically and if you just accept what one fucking Nazi said, birth order effect is real. Autogynephilia is real. Trans people are fetishists.
This is the other thing. You said this guy also does a lot of studies in pedophilia, correct?
This man invented the terms pedophilia, hebophilia, and tritanophilia. There's a third one. I didn't write anything down because I feel like one day there's going to be a time to just dive into this fucking guy and like do a whole episode. And I was like, I need to stop.
Can of worms, yeah.
I need to stop because
otherwise, yeah,
this is going to be a 45-hour episode.
I am convinced a lot of these people are also pedophiles. Look at the Epstein files dropping.
Yes.
I remember seeing an interview with Epstein saying he believed in the future it would be very common for much older men to be with much younger women.
Yes.
He said that.
This
It's
man
a bunch of white supremacists.
is the reason the
pedophiles.
conservatives are talking about it wasn't pedophilia, it was hebephilia.
Why do you think they push Christianity on us? Because it's like, well, women are supposed to be quiet and get married off when you're 10 years old and just shut up and do whatever your fucking rapist abuser says that you're married to against your will. Like,
Yes.
all of it's just pedophiles
Yes,
running everything.
Correct. The world is run by pedophiles. And something needs to happen to them.
Yes.
And that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, that's all I'm going to say.
We're going to come back pretty soon. As soon as the Olympics start up, we are going to be talking about the history of women's sports because
Yes.
that feels relevant, especially
Yes.
because I don't know yet because it hasn't happened, but I feel very confident that people are going to be mad about trans people.
Yeah, I feel like that's a common
I
occurrence.
feel like people
the
are going
last
to
5
be
years.
mad about trans people at the Olympics, and I feel like it's going to be J.K. Rowling who's mad.
Oh, yeah.
So,
So,
how was that?
insane.
I would agree with you. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks for hearing us out on
If you thought autogynephilia was fascinating and you would like to know more interesting facts or terms about trans people and where they came from and who invented them and why everything that is very popular on the internet about us is a lie, check out the full episode. Check out we haven't figured out what that's going to be called yet, but
Yeah, we'll get to it.
and go learn about stuff that everyone's wrong about.
Learn some shit.
We love shit. And we love you.
And
So,
we love you.
thank you, as always, for listening. Send us an email at ladyandthetranspodcast@gmail.com if you think we got something wrong, if you think that there is more information that we did not cover, if you just love us and want to be like, hey, keep it up.
Let us know.
Henry, the hysterectomy. Horsehead, do you need a hysterectomy?
I do.
Laura does. Hysterectomy. Great. Anyway, this was fun.
Bye.
Yeah.
Lady and the Trans Podcast. Where we believe in science. We don't believe in God. Only science.